The importance of building safety is going to be emphasized in the coming month of May by the Allen County Building Department. Joining us today is Dave Fuller, who is the building superintendent in Allen County. And Dave, particular emphasis is going to be coming during the week of May 3rd through 9th. What is the building department planning that week?
We have a number of things planned. We're doing some public education events. We're putting out some flyers, and we're trying to just get general information out through our website and through other sources about the importance of building safety, primarily related to residential structures. I think most people think about commercial structures when they think about building safety, but there are a lot of projects that get done where homeowners don't really think about the safety of the building and the long-term effect that it may have on their family safety.
And most people, I would assume, probably feel that it's their property. They should be able to build whatever they want, whenever they want to on it, without having to come to your department to have it checked out. But that really is an important part, as you say, about keeping it safe. What exactly does the building department do in that regard?
We do get that sometimes from people, and we certainly aren't wanting to inhibit what they do on their own property, but they may not always own that property, and potential buyers in the future want to be able to be assured that what they're purchasing was built properly and that their family is going to be safe in future years too. One of the things that building inspections and building permits do is it keeps a permanent record on what's been done on that property. So when you buy or sell a house, you've got information on what's actually occurred on that property.
So what exactly would transpire in, say, the process of getting a building permit from your department?
If a contractor is doing the work, that contractor needs to be licensed in Allen County, and he would come in to our office and fill out applications, and unless it's an addition to the house, if it's just an interior remodel, a permit's issued over the counter within 5 or 10 minutes. If a homeowner's doing the work himself, that's perfectly acceptable. Process is the same. He'll come in and fill out the applications, verify that's his property and his permanent residence, and then he can get a permit over the counter too. If an addition is involved, then there is an extra step of getting approval through the land use department in the city-county building. But that typically is an across-the-counter permit also. And they're verifying that easements aren't being violated, setbacks from property lines, those kinds of things are being complied with.
Okay, so I come in, I get my permit to add on or build on my property. Once I have that and once I start the work, then how is your department involved?
We will give you information when you get the permit about when inspections need to be done, at what milestones throughout the project. And you simply call into an automated line when you're at that point, and it automatically downloads to the inspector's car, to his computer, and he'll be out within 24 hours of the time that inspection was called in as ready. We'll do the inspection. Assuming everything is okay, then you're free to continue on with the project. If there are corrections that need to be done, we'll leave a detailed tag at the site so that you know what areas need to be corrected. If you have questions, the inspector can help with that, or you can call into the office and we can help walk you through that.
I'm sure it varies based on the complexity of the work that's being done, but typically how often would an inspector be out on a particular project?
If it's a new building, a new single-family home, we make somewhere between 15 and 20 visits to each house. If it's something like a room addition or a deck, it's going to be much simpler. We may only be there anywhere from 2 to 5 times or 6 times. So kind of depends on the type of work it is.
And what kind of things are you looking for in terms of the safety of the work that's being done?
Our primary responsibility is to verify that the state building codes are being complied with. And those state codes are minimum safety standards that have been set over the years through trial and error with projects. And as I say, those are considered the minimum. We can't make you build a Cadillac, but we want to make sure that the house or the structure is built safely into those minimum standards.
How many inspections, how much work do you do in a typical year out of this office?
In a typical year, we'll do between 50 and 55,000 inspections, and we issue through our permit counter about 25 to 30,000 building permits. Things are down a little bit right now with the economy, but we're still doing 30 to 40,000 inspections a year.
You're still having, I think I understood that your typical business construction is still going pretty well.
Yeah, commercial construction is actually up from last year and is fairly consistent with what it's been over the last several years. It's residential construction that's down significantly. And residential construction permit projects are probably 70 to 80% of our work. So commercial helps, and that stayed steady, but the residential is where we're seeing the decrease.
And what kind of fee structure is set up through your department?
There are a variety of ways that permits get charged for. Permits in Allen County are very reasonably priced, and it depends on the type of work that's being done. Some permits are figured on the square footage basis that's being added. Some are on the dollar value of the job. But typically for a home improvement project, a homeowner is going to pay well less than $100 for permits.
And you mentioned also something about putting out fires. Fire safety is connected to this education effort that you're doing.
Yes, it is. We get called out routinely with the fire departments whenever there's a house fire, an apartment fire. And one of the jobs that we have is to help control those sites, if necessary, condemn the structures and make sure they stayed secured until the owner can get them repaired. So that takes up some of our time. We also respond to complaints from neighbors and homeowners on buildings.
What type of complaints are we talking?
We get a whole variety of complaints, but our primary aspect it deals with safety of buildings. If a house is abandoned and it's unsecured and kids can get in to play in it, the county is responsible through the building department, for keeping that house secured, getting a hold of owners to get them fixed and that kind of thing.
Well, Dave, we appreciate your time today. Thanks for educating us on the work that's done out of the building department, and we look forward to hearing more about building safety during the week of May 3rd through 9th. Thanks very much.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.